Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Hare Krishna. So let us hear from Srila Jayapataka Maharaj, who has been based in Sri Dham, Mayapur, the center of Vedic culture, the center of the spiritual world, for about 37 years now, and has traveled extensively throughout the whole of India, in the villages where the culture is more alive, and can tell us more about Vedic culture and its ultimate purpose.
What's the theme? What's the theme tonight?
The theme is Vedic culture, right? That's what
yes.
Do you want the mic or what? Are you using the microphone? No. Do you need? Well, I'll keep it because we're supposed to have questions and answers afterwards. Yes, she's doing it.
Maybe those that know English can move away from her.
She was doing simultaneous translation.
I'm saying, but those who know English can go away from her, and those who don't know English can sit next to her. So that way, anyone here that doesn't know English? You don't know. Go sit that aside. We've been hearing His Holiness Bhakti Vikasa Swami Maharaj. He is a very dear disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He's been, I met him during the time of Prabhupada distributing books in India. And somehow we got connected together since I was one of the Eastern India, Bangladesh, Southern India leaders. He actually learned Bengali. At that time was preaching in East India and Bengal, in Bangladesh. Now he's based in Gujarat. Can take my association.
I see you more in the Western India.
But he knows fluent Hindi also. He's on television. He publishes many books. He preaches all over the world. And he's very renowned for his scholarship. So we've been very fortunate to have his good association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'm very fortunate to have all the Vaishnavas Association. Request Jayapataka Maharaj to give us his very valuable guidance.
Get my cartels. Small ones. You want the big ones?
Why not?
Maybe too loud here.
No. Okay, people. No neighbors.
You draw them all away. This is the famous Bosnian Nabhat singer. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Welcome to all of the devotees. We say Suswagatam. This is Vedic Sanskrit mantra. Su, auspicious welcome. Auspicious arrival. Actually, as I heard Bhakti Vikasa Swami Maharaj mention, that there are so many things you can discuss about Vedic culture. And then I understood he was speaking mainly the principles behind it. How Vedic culture was meant for preparing for the next life. Or ultimately, Varnashram is meant for pleasing Hari. And the whole society is organized so that the people can go back to Godhead. But having lived in India, Prabhupada told us that there are many aspects of Vedic culture, little details, which are just part of the Indian culture. There are also some problems. Prabhupada said that Chanakya, the great Pandit moralist, he said that if a person loses his money, if he becomes poverty-stricken, then he loses all his good qualities. When people are desperate for money, they can lie, they can cheat, they can do. So like in every place, there are some people like that. Maybe more. But there are also so many really good people. It's not that everybody's like that. So, one of the things the Prabhupada taught us was that we should receive our guests very nice. He was telling us one day in Mayapur that people coming to the Gaudiya Math, in those days not so many people were coming to ISKCON. Now more people come to ISKCON. Tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of people. But at that time, not so many people were coming. They were just new and constructed. So Prabhupada said that in the Gaudiya Math, they're very expert how to receive a distinguished guest. They bring a guest in, they speak very nicely to him or her, and they invite him for taking prasadam, and then they give nice prasadam. So then if it's an important person, then one of the top Maharajas or leader there will personally oversee the prasad distribution. Prasad distribution is in Bengal is a whole science. The different regions of India have different styles of eating based on their climate. There's said in the Vedas there's 6 tastes. That means first is bitter, how's it go? Bitter, salty, pungent, astringent, sour, and sweet. So they're served in that order. Bitter is given first. There's different bitter preparations. First time in Mayapur when we served bitter melon to the devotees on the Gaur Purnima festival. This sabji is, spoiled, it's bitter. They don't know that the sabji is supposed to be bitter. Now everybody knows better, but in the first time, nobody knew. They thought, what is going on? This is a bitter subject. It's not that. That helps to get the digestive fluids moving. And then from then you go into normal sabjis, the chilies. In Bengal, there's not too much astringent. Astringent, they have it in Assam. They actually use caustic soda. A little few drops acid inside the sabji. Inside, sometimes they make a dal. It's like, like an alum. You take it. It's a different taste. Maybe kashai is. I don't know.
Then we should be kashan.
I'm not sure what in Bengal is.
Maybe it's mustard seed. Maybe that's it.
But in Assam they have really, and also in Manipur, very astringent peps. They make round matar, peas, the yellow one, and they make that with this caustic soda.
It's an quiet taste.
Yeah, but it's a taste. It's one of the tastes. They make also some kind of lauki with some split down type of astringent. So it's one of. Then there's the sours like yogurt, and curry sauce, and so many sour things, and chutneys. The word in Bengali for sour is tok. And if you take something sour, it makes that kind of, so that sound is tok. So Prabhupada would serve every. So what happened is that a commissioner of 4 different districts, he came to Mayapur and Prabhupada said, look, I'm going to show you how to serve a guest. You devotees from the West, you have to also learn how to serve your guests. Because you're not serving them nice, they're not coming. So this is part of Vedic culture called atitya. Serving the unexpected guest. Atiti. Titi means the date. And when somebody is, know he's coming, that's one kind of guest. But sometimes a guest just shows up. That's atiti. But they use anyway atiti for all kinds of things. They said sometimes the Lord Himself comes in disguise as a guest to see how you serve them. So that's why then the saying came to treat your guests like Narayan. You never know. Maybe the Lord Himself is testing you. So this commissioner came, Prabhupada talked to him. Then he gave the prasadam, served it out. He even started telling a few jokes. We never saw Prabhupada telling jokes. So he looked and said, because he saw us kind of looking at him, jokes from the Guru. And then Prabhupada said, you see, during prasadam should be light talk. So it helps the digestion. When you're eating, if you have serious talk, it may create indigestion. So Prabhupada, he was so charming. At the end, this person, he fell in love with the Bengali misti dahi, this sweet yogurt. They cook down milk a little bit, so it becomes almost like condensed milk. Turn it into yogurt. It's a very special preparation. So Navadvip Dham is famous for the best misti dahi in the world. So when he had some of that, sweet yogurt, then he said, "Oh, I want some of this to take some with me." Probably, okay, give him one pot. Then afterwards, he was so charmed. He said, "What can we do for you?" The Prophet said, "Well, we need, 400 acres of land to build our temple." So he helped. He really helped. And every time I saw him, I would bring him a pot of sweet yogurt. So Prabhupada was teaching us how to receive our guests. And he said that actually everyone who comes to Mayapur, they should all get prasad. So even if it's a little cup, it's something they should get prasad. And then actually one time Prabhupada wrote a letter to all the temples in the world. But in the morning they should cook a sabji and make a puri dough. And any devotee, any guest comes, they should cook hot puris and give him hot puris and sabji, vegetable. How about, I can't remember. Also halwa. I don't know how many temples ever did that. But if he would have, I'm sure we would have more devotees. Would you like to come to the temple if you got hot puri, sabji, and halwa?
Today, even Bhakti Swami was a great philosopher. He said the main reason we joined was halwa.
He was a cook.
Yeah.
He was a very great cook. In fact, he's still teaching people how to cook. Not only is he expert at cooking, but Bhakti Purnima is very expert at serving prasad. Serving prasadam, that's another Vedic, because you really want to anticipate what the person needs. We learned about prasadam serving when we go to some life member program. And they'd fill our plate up with like 4 times more than what we could eat. So we had to learn how to survive. How they can give so much. Then someone told us this is the system in India. It comes from some Vedic heritage. If you want to serve your guest, if the guest says no, I don't want any more, you have to give them more. You better know the rules of the game if you visit India and you're a guest. Then if they say no, and they block with their hands, you still give. If they say no, and they really furiously block, you still give. Only if they jump like a tiger and really fanatic, then I don't want. Okay, then you let them go. Have you ever been served in India?
Yes.
Really? Of course, we tell our service in Mayapur to use the more westernized. Otherwise, the food too much. But when you go out, so we learn, all these little things that it's part of their culture that they like to serve their guests. And especially the wealthy businessmen, they know that if they serve a devotee, they get all kinds of good karma and blessings. So they're more eager to serve. But then also there's a question. When you eat people's prasad, you get their karma. When you eat their food. So there's different things. One thing is you can offer everything to Krishna first and only take prasadam. Then you're somewhat safe. Otherwise, Prabhupada taught us that there's different kinds of food. There's different degrees of, if someone gives you water, there's very little karma transfer. If you buy food, there's no karma transfer. But you get the consciousness of the cook is still inside the food, if it's cooked food. So we're talking now mainly about, say, someone gives you food. Then if they give you fruit, that's also a little bit of karma. But if they give you, then the next one is if they give you fried grains, like puris, halwa, so that's a little more karma. But the most karma is it's a boiled food, boiled grains, like rice, chapatis. Then you're taking maximum. So that's why generally we only eat food from the devotees. Or someone who's a vegetarian. Or in some emergency, or we buy it. Or in some emergency. Then you do the best you can. Like Prabhupada, when he was traveling in the train, one time we were at Mughal Sarai. This is one of the biggest junctions in India, maybe the biggest. And Prabhupada sent out a devotee to buy puris and sabji. And he said, you have them cook the puris in front of you. You watch them cooking them. Then it's better. It's like more pure. And also because it's fried, so it's less, there's no you're buying, so it's not karma, but there's less, it's also more sanctum, whatever, more pure. So he was so many little practical ideas he would give us. Once I wrote to him, when I go out and I visit the villagers, sometimes they offer me a fruit or water. He said, well, if they're not vegetarians, it's best not to accept. But if you have to, then take a whole fruit, not cut with their knife. And then otherwise if you take water, the best is to avoid. So there were so many practical things about eating and guests. In Bengali they have, I don't know which is Vedic culture and which is just local culture. It seems that, like one time I was at this program with the king of Nepal, Virendra Maharaj. And it was in about it was 30 years ago. And 30. And he was speaking to his people, his subjects. And he said that in Nepal, their Nepal kingdom, in those days it was, and said that the Vedic culture is entwined in everything we do. You can't separate it. It's like all merged. And how we eat, how we live, how the marriages, everything it's all intertwined. So there's a lot of this. India is getting more westernized, especially in the big cities. And so now you're seeing some Western influences. Young people wearing blue jeans. Everybody wears blue jeans. All kinds of that. But in the villages, but although there's this mix, still there's a lot of Vedic culture remnants, which are still mixed. One thing I was seeing, sometimes we try to imitate, we say, this is Vedic, I want to, especially in our Grihastha lives, the Grihastha devotees. Husband says, I want a Vedic wife. She has to do everything I say. That's Vedic. I don't know how Vedic that is. Because in the Vedas, the husband protects the wife. But also in the Bhagavatam it says that the husband listens to the wife and considers what she has to say. So there's different, what's actually in the Vedas is Vedic, but then I found that in practical life in India, that the women have a very powerful position, and that the husbands are very respectful. Mostly what I've seen, especially in the cultured families, they're very respectful to their women folk. And usually the women folk run the whole house. Husband comes and gives them the money, and they run the house. He doesn't have to worry about it. The one thing is that, like when as a guru, I had to face this, some of my younger disciples. They wanted to get married very early. In America, if you get permission of your parents, you can get married when you're even 14 years old. In some states. And so we said that's Vedic. Young marriage. So they got married. But then there's a different, like I've seen what it is in India, is that the sons live with their parents. They like joint families. Like in the West, especially like in America, I don't know what it's like here. The parents want their children to leave the house when they grow up. And they think that's right. You leave your house, even the girls get out, get married. They don't. But the more east is that parents will want to see their children get established. Or in India, they had traditionally joint Hindu families, where the father and the mother, children, when the boys grew up, the boys would stay with the parents and the daughters would be given in marriage. So I go into some village, and the father of the house, he said, "This is my wife, this is my first son, this is his wife, this is my second son, this is his wife." And they call the wife as Boma. It's like my daughter. She's like a daughter in the house. This is my third son, his wife. The fourth son, his wife. And they all live in one compound. And so I was in one family in Calcutta. They had a big house with 4 stories. And they had 3-4 generations. With 5 brothers. And they had total 55 members living together. Sometimes it's like, not only your children, but the children of your brother, everyone, it's like, that's what they call, they're all like brothers and sisters. So they call cousin brother. But it was very much united. And the traditions, they have a big temple room, and the traditions of the family are kept very much intact because of that kind of structure. Now in modern India, the apartment buildings and that kind of more like what I see here in Bosnia, that's more the standard in the big cities. But still in the country, there are many of these joint families. So when a young girl gets married in India, it means that she goes to the family of her husband when she's, old enough. And her mother-in-law trains her up. and treats her like if it's a good, sometimes there's not good relations, but usually it's good. And she's like, she sees the mother-in-law like her mother. So she's taken care of, she's trained, she's engaged. And eventually, if she's the wife of the oldest son, when her mother-in-law passes away, she'll become the head woman of the house. It's like there's a whole order. So here in my case, this young American girl gets married, 14 years old. She's alone in an apartment while the husband's working all day. What does she do? Turns on the television, watches all these crazy shows, soap operas. Because we just imitate sometimes the Vedic culture. But we're not Vedic. We're living in the Western world. Vedic culture means there's a father-in-law, mother-in-law, there's a family, there's support. And there's a little girl isn't able to be the head of the family. So it's, unless she's really strong. So after watching so many television shows, she wanted to divorce her husband, because that's all they show her on television. So we had to see, like Maharaj gave us a purpose. The Vedic culture had a purpose. To please Krishna, to go back to Godhead, have a better next life, give a better this life. Depending if you're Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, or Bhakti Kanda, Upasana Kanda. So that's why I see. I appreciate. Like in South India, also it's even more traditional in many ways. Like we know that sannyasi, the feet shouldn't be touched by a woman. Or any sannyasi shouldn't be touched. They go in South India in someone's house, right, and they put a wooden platform out, and they stand on it, and then they want to wash your feet before you enter their house, as a show of respect, or maybe in the house. So then the wife will pour the water without touching, and the head of the household will wash the feet of the visiting sannyasi. So little things like that, you just pick up that, oh, this is very respectful, yet it keeps the proper etiquette. So I always appreciate when I travel in the village, I have many families which are following Krishna consciousness, and they're a joint family. You get one person in the family, then usually the whole family goes Krishna consciousness. So prasadam, families, what else? What's still there in Vedic culture? One thing that's there is Vaishyas know it's their duty to give charity. If you go to a businessman and you can convince him that you're doing good work, then usually they'll give you a donation. They respect. They know that as a Vaishya they're supposed to give charity. Sometimes, Prabhupada engaged us as when we first reached India, engaged us in fundraising. One time I went into one businessman's office and I went in to show him I had all the pictures of the activities of ISKCON around the world. And suddenly this man, he starts to attack me verbally. I don't believe in all of this. You people are a bunch of cheaters. Who do you think you are? You're coming here trying to take our money. I don't believe in all this, you're all bogus. Then he was just like shouting at me, and mostly they're always very polite and nice, but this guy was so heavy. It was not Vedic. Then I was waiting for him to finish. Then I said, no sir, what you said wasn't correct. Very politely said, you see, we're doing lots of good work here. You can see the pictures don't lie. Then I showed my pictures and showed what, he was like shocked. He thought he would just blow me away, and I just like ran off. Because I just withstood whatever he said and started preaching to him and showing it. And he said, I'm very sorry. I was so harsh with you. I was just testing you. He's a crazy guy. And then he agreed though. He agreed, took out his check, and he became a life member, paid 1,100 rupees. Sometimes you get crazy, different kinds of people. Sometimes when you go collecting, then the people, they offer you, take a soft drink, have a lemonade, can I get you a sandwich, some sweet? But I want to tell you about the program. So then you're explaining, then you ask, that if you could kindly become one of our life members and help us. So well, I have to talk to my wife. Or I talk to my brother. I gotta talk to somebody. So they put you off. And so sometimes you try to say, well, you talk to your wife when you make other business decisions. But if they were very insistent, they won't tell you no. Most of them won't just say, no, I won't give. They'll give some excuse. Because they're very polite to visiting sannyasi. I think that's Vedic culture. So then sometimes the devotees have become very, what you call, when you're, not ingenious, but like determined. They're putting you off, they're giving you some excuse. Okay, when can I meet you and your wife together in your house? And pursue them, to the end. One time, the temple president, he wanted to get he bought a land, but there was a tenant on the land in Bengal. It's very hard to get tenants off the land in Bengal. So he sent Mahaprasadam every day from the deities to the tenant. Until finally, he said, okay, I'll go. It's just that. Yeah, Andre, Mr. Poda. Just that it was worth millions of rupees to get the tenant out, but he was convinced by Mahaprasad. Culture, the people are very personal in India. Especially in the village. And like if I go walking in the village, once I was walking on the road taking my morning walk, and I met a villager I hadn't seen for 10 years. And he said, oh, Jayapataka Swami, how are you? I said, all right. How are you? How's your wife? How's your children? They're all right. Now my son got married, and my daughter got married, and I had a new cow yesterday. We're just talking, like old friends. I haven't seen them but they're very personal like that. That's why, so I grew up in the village. So I'm used to that kind of personal feeling. I grew up because I'd been to India when I was 21 years old. Since 36 years now, 37, I'm living in the Bengali villages. So people there are very personal, very friendly. One last story. When I first came to Mayapur, we were just living in the grass hut. And well, there's two things. One thing is, we didn't have running water, we had pumps. So there was a whole system that how to keep your hands clean. In Vedic culture, there's suchitva, or cleanliness. It's a whole science. It's necessary for deity worship, it's necessary for just proper exchange. Like if you go to the bathroom, you have to wash your hands, your feet, and if it's a urine, and if it's stool, then you have to wash your so many parts. I'm not going to get so technical. And so all the villagers, they watch the devotees, so they know the rules. They still follow this system. Even the local, not even the local Muslims are very conscious about cleanliness, because they do their namaz and they have to wash their feet and their hands. And in Bengal, they're very conscious about cleanliness. Whether it's in Arabia, they're so conscious about the area. And that was one thing, is that when your hand's dirty and you have a bucket of water, and sometimes you have to grab the bucket with your arms, pour it over on your hands, and all kinds of techniques you learn. Maybe you don't need to use that here, because you just turn the pipe, the faucet. But we had to learn all these ways of maintaining cleanliness with a very rustic kind of facility. When I first came, I was associated mainly with Muslim farmers, because 50% of our villagers are Muslim and 50% are Hindu. And the Muslims, somehow the Muslims came and worked with us a lot. We had both. But our local farmers, a lot of them were Muslims. So I go over and talk with them and sit. So one time we were irrigating our rice fields. We were all at the irrigation well. And they're waiting for their turn to get the water. So one man said, I never want to leave Mayapur. Once in my life, I went to Calcutta. Never again. Such a horrible place. You don't know what I saw. I saw something very horrible there. And the other one said, horrible? What did you see horrible? You see, I went in Calcutta, and there in the park, there was a man sitting. Or maybe it was a lady sitting here. I think it was a lady sitting, and the man lay down on the park bench and put his head on the lap of the lady in public. Oh, horrible, horrible! Oh, so bad. I never want to see such irreligious activity. So the Hindus and Muslims, both are very conservative in the village. It's like two different countries. You got the city people and the rural people. The rural people, of course, the rural people are now getting television, so they're getting contaminated. Huh? Right? There's two different, but still.
I'll tell you the story. I'll just say it. our devotees, they went on traveling Sankirtan in Rajasthan it was about 12 years ago, where they were just getting electricity and televisions, and so what a difference. You go to the places that bought TVs and those that haven't. So completely different. People with the TVs are just like so spoiled. People who don't have TVs are so much better.
And once somebody told Prabhupada they're going to have electricity, he said, why? They'll spoil them.
In the villages in Bangladesh, we used to have people, after dark, they just chant Hare Krishna. It's the normal thing to do. What are they going to do? Many places, it's very common. They just bring out their megaphone and chant. That's their culture. So now they all have TVs. The culture's broken. Breaking. We're going to do some questions.
Okay, I better stop here. She has her magic hand up with the 2 fingers. Which Maharaj? The 2 Maharaj.
Maha.
Mother can offer her son or daughter some food, but she is not devoted, and her son or daughter is devoted. And I heard that it's okay if he accepts the food from the mother, only from the mother. Is it true or not?
What's the question?
Can we accept food from the mother or mother if she is not devoted? She cook for us vegetarian.
Well, I don't know if there's anything hard and fast written about this. Like my mother is not a vegetarian. Sometimes she was, but not always. So I told her I won't eat anything cooked by her. I don't know if it's Vedic. But I accept from her fruits and other things. Just because she's my mother. But what I do is I have a devotee cook and have her guide them. She knows really good recipes for cookies and things. The other, she can do the mixing, but the fire, touching the fire, it has to be like a Brahmin. So she gives the recipe and she guides them, but a Brahmin puts the cookies into the oven. So we engage her. A lot of times, tell the children when they go home, you cook for your parents. They're always cooking. So you always cook for me, I want to cook for you, and then cook them for Shana.
Prabhupada many times said that the parents of devotees, even if that waiting meeting they must be very good, pious people who have shown their devotees.
So your question is, can she eat the vegetarian food from her parents?
Well, it's the same principle applies, that the karma and the consciousness is there. So I think it also that we should eat that which is offered to Krishna, which means it's offered to Krishna.
You can tell your parent that we don't eat vegetarian, we eat prasada. So you cook together with your mother, and you offer it. You can eat it. You put the food on the fire. Or get her to be a vegetarian.
These cross-cultural questions are
But yeah, this is
tough. Can be. Because on the one hand, you want to one principle is to you want to please your parents and you don't want to disrespect them. But on the other hand, if by pleasing them you can't please them and break devotional principles to please them.
like in another Vedic culture kind of remnant, but which is like distorted. It's like in Bengal you have non-vegetarian families. Many, mostly. 96%. And they like to eat fish, and some of them even eat meat. But they also do pujas on special days, like Janmashtami or some demigod appearance or something, for which they all observe vegetarianism. So they have two sets of pots. Vegetarian pots for the special days, and the non-veg pots. So this is a question that comes up: do your parents have vegetarian pots? Because otherwise we have to clean the pot and clean it with cow dung. After thoroughly cleaning it with all kinds of other things, because otherwise some of the smell of meat may be there in the pots.
One thing that devotees who spend time living in India can appreciate is how superior this culture is. And it's not said from like a chauvinistic point of view, but just from the Krishna conscious point of view. There are many subtle points which you appreciate after spending some time. Even devotees who they just spend like 2-3 years in India, and when they go back to the West, they get culture shock. It seems so gross.
The first time, I lived in India for 9 years.
I was just telling someone
Today. Was it today or yesterday?
We met you at the airport in Frankfurt.
I was just telling them about it. From 1978 to 79. It's 8 or 9 years. I was in India.
I think it was 78. I was in Bangladesh. I came to the West in 78.
Like, one thing is that old people in the West, in India, they're interested in spiritual life. They're interested in visiting holy places. They're visiting, it's like a different culture. Where old people in the West, we're kind of in the middle here, they're more like they want to have this like their old age honeymoon or something. They want to enjoy life. They're still trying to enjoy life even though they're already old. So I was in this Pan American airline, first flight out of India for 8-9 years. I've only been with these elderly people that are the ladies are wearing the tilak or covering their heads and very spiritually oriented, come and chant and pray. And I'm in a group of American tourists who are going back to America. And they're all older people, like 55, 65 up, white hair. And I'm right in the middle of it. Somehow. And they're laughing and talking and playing cards. Anyway, Americans tend to be a little bit loud. But then there's this one old lady, elderly, she's like 65 up or white hair, coming from the front, and she's completely drunk. She can hardly walk. And she said, they upgraded me to first class. There's classes in the airplane. First class, business class, economy. When you're in economy, you pay for everything. When you're in first class in business, you get free drinks. So she said they upgraded me to first class. All the drinks are free. So I've been drinking so much, I can't stand anymore. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, where am I? I'm used to old ladies, devotional, spiritual. And here's this lady, she's so old. I said, wow, I had a complete culture shock.
I remember you told us that when you got off the plane in Frankfurt. You came by Kuwait or something. Still.
I'm still shocked.
One thing is that Islam is very much being slandered in the Western press, but in many ways they are upholding many facets of culture. Like they believe in family life, and they believe that religion is more important than economic development. So that's just one observation. What's his name? Khomeini in Iran, he called America the Great Satan. In some ways, I mean, that's maybe also a stereotype. The Western culture, they're pushing it in everywhere. Everywhere should have McDonald's and Coca-Cola. They want a more religion-oriented society. So that's actually. In Time magazine, one devotee showed me in Berlin some 10 years ago or something. They showed American dominance of the world. They showed in Pakistan some village, some Coca-Cola sign. So I wrote a letter to them and said that America will go down in history as the most intellectually decrepit society the world has ever known. And I published it. It's in this book. I put it in this book. Glimpses of traditional Indian life. Many anecdotes about how people. If you want to see traditional India, go quick, because they're really in a hurry to get. It's really unfortunate how that culture which has been maintained for thousands of years, there's in such a big hurry to throw it all out. It's really very unfortunate. Prabhupada wanted to revive that culture all over the world.
Yeah, just to balance the American version. At least in America, they give us the freedom to practice our Krishna consciousness. And in America, you know who some of our best friends are? It's the Muslim groups. Because we both stand for very similar things. And in America, we're both minorities. And so there we work together very closely.
No, I should balance that also. I'm not American bashing per se. American people in general, everywhere, people are nice. They just don't have knowledge of Krishna. Prabhupada appreciated it.
I was just bringing it up, I mean, to show that the kind of difference in culture among the elderly, it's not their fault, that's the culture they've grown up in. We're trying to change that, we're trying to improve quality of life, that elderly people should concentrate their life on their next birth. And by our propagation, we get more older people too. But it was just a shock for me because being in India, I could really see the difference in my life. Now I go in and out 3 times or 10 times in a year, so it's not the same. But that time it was like, where am I?
He was saying that here it's not the West. I was also saying this morning, I think, that it's like geographically and culturally, Bosnia is kind of in between. We're more the West, but not fully. So people still have some culture, family culture, that's very important actually. I mean, we often find in the higher Vedic teachings how family life is all Maya and it should be given up, which is actually, at a very high level. But then something which is very important, that before you give up family life, before you reject it all, there should be some kind of basis of family life to give up. In society, if there's no family life, then children are they're neglected. We see in the Western countries that family life is broken down and people are very disturbed. So family life is actually very important. And even though we are sannyasis, we appreciate the importance of how family life, stable family life is the background of any civilization. If it's not there, then there's no culture. Culture is, as Arjuna pointed out in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, if the women are not protected, if the family structure is not there, then all the traditions break down. So, although in Vedic culture women, they don't have the freedom, as in one sense, in many senses, as in modern life, but at the same time, they're such an important role. They're the first guru. It's stated in the Shastra. First guru is the mother. The basics of culture and of religion are taught by women. They're respected. In Bengal, I've also written in this book, you'll find people, they come to the city and work, but every man in his wallet will have a photo of his mother. So much respect for them, so much grateful to them. So, women in the West, they want their freedom, but that's because of lack of culture, they're not being treated properly. If they're protected and respected in a very honorable position, they can actually contribute to society in a way which, as mothers and wives and sisters, in a way which, for their freedom to become a bus driver or a fashion model or an airline pilot, it's just not the same.
There's so many traditions in India that we don't necessarily follow. When you're there, you see it going on. Like he just said, sister. There's a lot of different things with sisters. There's a Bhai-Phuta, that one day in a year, sisters give their brothers a blessing. And all the sisters go and put a little kind of prasadam, rice, and kumkum and things on the forehead. Called Bhai-Phuta. And there's another program where some lady ties Rakshi Bandhan. There's a jig in the West, northern India. They tie Rakshis around someone, if they tie a Rakshi around your arm, that means they're accepting you as their brother. You can't marry them. They have to protect them as a brother, big brother. All kind of little kind of cultural things that they do in India that don't make it to the books and that, but there's like all kinds of there's no end to it. Big culture.
You were saying about how they're all living together in the family as brothers. I remember I was going around a village when I was just new in Bangladesh, and one young university student was taking me to his village and taking me to all the homes in the village. He said, he introduced, this is my brother. He went to the next house and said, my brother. And the next house said, this is my brother. So everyone in the village is your brother? Yeah. They're all my brothers. They didn't introduce them as friends or neighbors, but they're all brothers. And in Gujarat, the culture is that you can't marry in the same village because you're brought up as brothers and sisters. You can't marry in the same village. It's so many, big culture, elevated culture. It takes some spiritual understanding to appreciate that. Rising early in the morning. That was there. Everywhere.
Everybody takes a shower.
Everyone rises early. Even in Calcutta, you'll find that they have like broken pumps on the side of the street where water comes out. It's flowing all the time. In early morning, the rickshaw wallahs are taking baths.
Worst people will take a daily shower. Any other question?
Ja se to pitam, da li je ova kultura o kojoj pričam, da li je Prabhupada mislio na to kad je rekao da ćemo kulturom osvojiti svijet?
Is this a culture that we are speaking about, the culture that Srila Prabhupada told us that is a culture by which we are going to conquer the whole world? Is this a culture that you were speaking this evening?
No, he said what is just telling what the remnants of Vedic culture that's in India. Some of the things like feeding your guests properly, offering your everything to Krishna. Our Vaishnava culture is more than Vedic culture. Because where everything is God conscious. Well, some of the things in India have the base in God consciousness, but it's not, may not be fully God conscious. So we're taking, Prabhupada took the essence of that. And the essence is Krishna consciousness. But he also said it's good to appreciate how just like you may read that bulls plowed the land. But when you're in India, you can see it. I did it. I plowed the land with a bull. That's part of Vedic culture. What's suitable for us now? That depends on each time, place, and circumstance. I think this discussion is more just to appreciate that India still has some remnants, but we don't want to imitate them. We want to follow our own Krishna conscious culture, which is taking the more spiritual essences. But some things we can learn from the Indians. We are basically, that's where our roots are. Yeah, I don't know if there's anybody here from India. But in many temples, almost everybody is from India, or 50% is from India. Some places like here, there's nobody from India. What we do in our temples, offering arti, offering pujas, offering the reception to people coming in. The Indians feel at home. They see that's part of their culture. And the principle that we should do everything to please God, that's the principle that will conquer the world. But some of the colorful aspects of Vedic culture, the art, the drama, the music, the festivals, these are things which are very attractive. They're also Krishna conscious. They can be Krishna conscious. Where we use them, they are. And that is something which attracts people all over the world. I was just in Birmingham, UK, and they had the Rath Yatra there. The mayor broke a coconut. There was a girl from Hungary that was doing Bharatanatyam dancing. And I appreciate it, explained how all the hand movements are expressing some pastime of Krishna, some message. The mayor appreciated it. So which aspect of the Vedic culture you can use for spreading Krishna consciousness that you can see in each time place? When you go there, I just wanted to tell you that when you went to India and you saw all the modern trains and the dirty streets and good streets and this street, there's all different things you're going to see. But behind it, there's still some remnants of Vedic culture. And some of the principles are definitely conquering principles. Treating people nice. But I don't want people blindly following things that they think are Vedic without knowing actually how it's applied. As I started off speaking about marriages, people in the West, they're not brought up in that culture. So husband and wives have to come to some agreement how they're going to work together. How traditional and how modern, according to their own nature. But there's certain principles they can know, but I've seen people try to fanatically apply them in an unreasonable way. So by discussing a little bit more objectively, then you can avoid that. These are what you call sub-religious or subordinate principles. The main principles are Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam.
Coming from a slightly different angle, I'd like to say that as much as we can intelligently apply these principles, they can help us in our Krishna conscious life, how to please Krishna. Krishna lives in Vedic culture. There are some principles of cleanliness, how we serve prasadam. We don't touch the spoon to the plate when we're serving. We always have to be very clean because we have to serve the Lord. We have to be clean to serve Him. It's entwined with Krishna consciousness. So, as much as we can intelligently apply these principles, understanding what is to be applied and what isn't to be applied in different circumstances, that will be very helpful for us. Which is one reason why, or a main reason, Prabhupada wanted devotees to come from the West and spend some time in the West, learn about these principles and then take that back. So Priti Bhagavata Prabhu said has been with Bhakti Vidya Purnamaha. He was here in Encouraged. So he's spent many years with them. He's teaching some of those principles. Anyway, no, he's not. It's just like he's with the So there are many, many things to be said about this.
Well, just because maybe we told some funny stories or some select examples which are not representative of everything. Just taken just to show some example. When he asked this question, is this the culture that's going to conquer the world? I felt it almost like a challenge. But, if you take the things out of context, then,
it requires intelligent application. Therefore, gurus are required to help us, to guide us how to apply the principles in our particular circumstances.
How to get the gold from a filthy place.
There are many gurus. The mother is the first guru. Guru, the word in a broader sense means those who are older than us as devotees, in family structure, those who are just older in general. Like Maharaj was saying, you expect older people to be very cultured because they have spent their whole life developing this culture. So if they are, then if they're doing that, then by the time they get old, they become wise. But if you spend your whole life watching TV and getting drunk, then you just become an old fool. You can't help anyone. But old people are so much respected in Vedic culture because they have so much to offer. They spend their whole life cultivating higher values. And then by the time they're older, they have so much to offer. So they're respected. But old people in the West aren't respected because they're not respectable. And the whole culture is based on sense gratification. They have nothing to offer for sense gratification.
That's another aspect of Vedic culture. Like just now they're starting old folks' homes, but mainly amongst the Christians. So in Indian culture, in the Vedic, the Hindus, the Vedic side, the children would protect their older parents.
And it's that anyway. There's so many things. It seems that if we do that, most devotees are neglected in their old age. We've seen that in the West, devotees do that, which is unusual. Maybe so in Bosnia it's going on, but in the West as Maharaj called it, it's unusual. But then people really appreciate when they're Krishna conscious sons and daughters look after their parents in the last stages of their life. They appreciate that we've got some higher culture.
Higher?
Switch to translate.
Okay, well maybe that's a sign. Vedic culture begins.
He burns her out.
What's the beginning of Vedic culture? The beginning is every day getting up early in the morning. So it's also helpful for those of us who are not on the level of the 6 Goswamis to rest in time so we can get up early. I just want to present that I've written one book, or it's based on interviews with devotees who are brought up in a very traditional Indian Vedic culture, and my own experiences mostly in Bangladesh. I've written this book, Glimpses of Traditional Indian Life, which gives some idea and flavor, mostly through anecdotes, of what this wonderful culture is. I just brought out a new book on pilgrimage in Holy India, my travels to some of the many wonderful holy places. One foundational book. There are 3 main books which are the basis of Vedic culture, which are Mahabharata, which is Bhagavad Gita, this Ramayana, which is available in Bhakti also, yeah? You didn't bring it? And of course Srimad Bhagavatam. So Ramayana, it teaches, just by hearing the wonderful narration, we learn of so many principles of Vedic culture. Brahmachari life is the training for the higher castes. So that's also, I have a book on Brahmachari life. So, on Prabhupada's instruction and writing books. So if anyone would like to see and take some of them, you're most welcome to do so. It will help you to appreciate more what is this wonderful culture. There are other books.